Right guys, welcome back to the battery building series. I don't know what part this is going to be because I haven't edited it yet, so go back and have a look through the previous videos and you'll see, you'll get a gist of what's actually going on. But basically, I'm building a massive e-bike pack. So just to recap, in the last video I finished pack number 1 out of 2 because I'm building 2 10S packs basically, so I can link them together and that gives me like a sort of 74 volt pack or 72 volt. Anyway, pack number 1 has been finished. It's been balanced as well. It took about a day to balance. I didn't balance charge it at first. I just did a sort of simple balance and it just took forever, like over a day, which is kind of what was expected because there were some sort of discrepancies on the voltage and this balance charger doesn't actually balance at a very high rate. Anyway, once I'd done that, I put it on a full charge, a balanced charge this time, and then fully charged it because it was, after balancing it was down to about 25%. So I kind of put it all the way back up to 4.19 a cell. It's set to the normal sort of 4.2 a cell, but it got to 4.19, then it did its balancing. Whole process took probably, I don't know, like 3 or 4 hours, something like that, to kind of charge it and balance it and everything else. And everything was done. It said complete on the charger, all balanced to the nail. Looks good so far. Also, I've been pretty busy. I've made pack number 2 already, so that's done. And it's all kind of wrapped up and everything the same way as the other one. This is on charge now. I've not bothered doing a balance on this. I'm just going straight into a sort of balanced charging, and you can see here, voltages are a little bit all over the place. It's 4.01, 396, 396, 401. So, I mean, it's not too bad, but the gap I think is 0.1 of a volt, which is, it's not really that bad, but for new cells, you probably want it to be kind of very, very close. But this balance charger should sort this out, and then we can test it out because we've got 2 packs. The connectors are on. All I've got to do is series connect these 2 packs together. They fit in here nicely. I'm just doing a charge on these via the oh yeah, look, I've got a cycling analyst on here as well now. I've gone back to using this because this display on the Sabaton is fantastic, but I don't know if it's a limitation with software or hardware, but it doesn't register your total amp hours. And then when you're doing tests and stuff like this, you really do need to see what's actually going on. So I've rigged up my cycle analyst for the moment, and big fat charge wire going in there. So this is charging at about 5 amps through there, and just charging these 2 little packs up. So it's all moving on. Also, I went to the post office today and picked up the BMS, which I thought had been lost in the post. So we've got the Tony special BMS. Well, it's a Chinese one, but Tony's done a lot of work on it on the app. So I'm going to get stuck into this soon. But I want to test out the pack first, give it a couple of charge cycles. The thing about charge cycles with the packs is that it's really difficult to do a big discharge on these things because it's going to take forever. It's going to take hours if you try and do it on one of these RC chargers because they just haven't got enough discharge or load capacity. So the only way to really discharge them is in the bike. Maybe at a kind of like a lower power to start with, just to kind of let things settle down. But I have been considering getting, I've been trying to find this for a while. I found a 72 volt inverter. So basically like my inverter here for running all the shed stuff and other stuff, and if we ever get a power cut we switch over to that. But this is only like a 1000 watt inverter, and of course at 12 volts that's still pretty insane. That's like 90 amps or something. So I've actually found a 72 volt inverter, like a 6000 watt inverter, that isn't too silly money. So it would be kind of cool to get that and rig these batteries up to it and see what would actually happen. And I could probably charge the Twizy from it as well if I did that. So thinking about things just all over the place. But the BMS is here anyway, and this is going to have to be wired up. They give you all these like connectors, and at first I saw the little crimp connectors in there and I thought, oh, for God's sake, have I got to crimp these on? I haven't even got a crimp tool. But actually they're already done. You can see them there, they're already done. They just need to be put into the slotted into these things, into the other end of this, like the actual connector for this. But this has got Bluetooth. It's supposed to be a really good system, and you can see in there it looks pretty substantial. It's whacking great copper strips on that PCB, which is kind of what you want to see when you're looking at something that says 300 amps current. Personally, I wouldn't stick 300 amps continuous through this thing because I mean the Twizy controller is about 10 times the size of this, so that gives you an idea. You'll probably be alright for sort of half that continuously Not that I'm going to be doing that anyway, because the most I've ever seen out of this bike is 14 kilowatts when I had the adapto controller on, which was rubbish because it just blew up all the time. So yeah, 14 kilowatts was the max. I'm not sure what I'm going to see with this battery. It's all kind of work in progress. You know, my other previous battery was using copper connections on the cells, so potentially there's going to be more of a voltage drop on these ones. But you know, the idea with this battery is to try and create a battery that other people can create easily without going into, you know, ridiculous kind of methods for kind of engineering. I've had loads of comments about, oh yeah, do this, do that. But the trouble is, I don't know if any of these other people have actually built batteries, because when you actually come to do it, you're going to be doing this all winter. Maybe that's what you want to do, I don't know. But I've got better things to be doing than building batteries all winter. I just wanted to get a pack done, get it sorted out, and then potentially you guys can do the same, or we might be able to do something with these batteries, because they don't take too long to make, and these cells are quite interesting. So anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm going to let this battery finish, get it balanced and charged, which is probably going to take hours, and then hopefully we can test this out and see what's going to happen. Right guys, it's battery testing time. So I've got this battery is basically finished. This is the second one. It's finished balancing. It's taken all night to balance. I put it on balance charge. One of the cells was actually a little bit lower, so I actually had to kind of let it run. Balance charging is good on this charger because it kind of gets to sort of around the fully charged mark. You know, some cells were peaking at like 4.2, which obviously you don't want to go any higher than that. And then it kind of reduces the charge back, and it kind of, you know, kind of tops the one up. One was like 4.16 and the other lot were like 4.19, 4.2. So it took probably like 3 hours or something to get that one up. It just reduces the charge rate and then just kind of, you know, puts a load, I think, on the other cells. So that one effectively just gets nudged up until it reaches level. So it's done. It's balanced. This side's balanced. That side's done. Been out to the shop. I've got some of these things. Not really interested in these, but this was from the pound shop, and this is quite like sort of I don't know, like a sort of adhesive felt type thing, like a bit of padding. So I might use that for yeah, just to sort of cover one side of the battery. But before I do that, I want to give it a test. So I'm going to stick it in the bike. So I'm just going to temporarily put the batteries in here, put a bit of padding around, just get it in there, and then just, yeah, see what it can do. Obviously don't want to go too mad on the first run, but you know I will. Right, it's a tight fit. That's all I'm going to say. It's a really tight fit. I might be able to move some stuff around inside just to try and make it better, but just for the test, it's a blimmin' tight fit. Mainly it's the width of it, because I know I kind of push the boundaries with the width, so it does go in, but these panels are pretty good because they stretch, so you can kind of seal it around the edge and then it kind of pokes out a little bit. Right, okay guys, so 1000 watts down to 81.3 volts. So it's holding 81 volts at 1000 watts, which is kind of good. Gone up to about 1500 then. Staying above 80 volts, which is a good start. So I'm just cruising along here, 26, 25 mile an hour, still on 80 volts. Got some traffic behind me. But yeah, so right, it's cranking up 1.2 kilowatts, 80 volts. Yeah, I should have maybe set another camera up on here so I can actually see what I'm doing. But I'm cruising along nicely. I do like 27 mile an hour, which actually is a little bit higher than I was getting with the other battery, which obviously isn't as high power, but we're pulling 15 amps out of this battery right now, which isn't a lot, but it's holding 81 volts at that sort of level anyway, so like 1.3 kilowatts. So if we crank it up to the third position, and right, let's give it a little bit of beans. Whoa, 6. So we're at 4,500 watts. Jeepers, 40 mile an hour. Bloody hell. So it's holding its nominal voltage at 45 amps. So 40 amps. Bloody hell. This is pretty crazy. I've just left all that traffic standing behind me. Oh god. This is an insane. This is an insane battery. I can already tell it. I can already tell it. So we've only done like 1 amp hour so far. Not even that. And yeah, so this is looking pretty interesting. I can just match the speed. I can just match the speed of the traffic. So I've got my regen set to well, I don't know what it's set to actually, I can't remember what I set it to, but it basically regens as soon as I reduce the throttle, as soon as I come off the throttle, should I say, because yeah, that's the way I want it at the moment. I may put a switch on, may do it with the brake levers like I had originally in the beginning, but for now I'm not going to bother. So we are still hovering around 80 volts and pulling 14-15 amps. Yeah, nice and breezy out here. It's a little bit chilly today. You can certainly feel it. Definitely need these gloves. So yeah, I'm on the position 3, which wasn't getting me this much power before. I mean, you wouldn't expect it because I was running only like a 4 parallel of 30 Qs, Samsung 30 Qs. So you know they're not gonna hold too much voltage when you start pulling. You know, they're only rated at like 15 amps a cell. These are supposed to be rated at 20 amps a cell. Oh, I don't want any bumps. That's what I don't want. The bike feels a little bit heavier. Obviously it does, because when you're running a lot more batteries. Right, so we're climbing uphill now. Gone up to about 28, 30 amps and 2.2 kilowatts. Oh, this is lovely, I love it. Tony, you're going to love this. I'll tell you what, this is the one. This is the one. All right, let's go round here. So when I pull away, I'm getting about 50 amps on this setting number 3 here. Oh, it done half pull. Stand up for that. It done half pull. So 25 amps going out of it right at the moment. We've done 1.7. God, I'll tell you what, you and half creep up some speed. You really do creep. The speed just creeps up. Oh, this is the one. So nearly 5 kilowatts there, and we're still at 80 volts. This is mad. Right, I'm going to turn up the power even more. This is probably a really stupid idea because it's so wet, but I'm going to turn up the power more and get around this corner. I've got this little mirror here which is quite useful. It's actually supposed to go on the top of the handlebars, but put it on the bottom because you can't really see a lot when it's on the top. It needs to be further round. Right, so 79, still 79 bloody volts. What on earth? Right, it'd be interesting to see what happens when I take this battery out. You know, what the temperature is, whether the nickel strips have disintegrated. Right, whoa, I can match the speed of you. Whoa, so we're currently doing 50-ish. Oh my god. Right, I didn't see what the maximum power was then, but this is flying, mate. I'm telling you, this is flying. Jesus. Yeah, come on. Right, bring on all the hate comments. Bring them all on. Oh, mate, this is insane. Oh my god. Right, okay, I'm gonna pull over here. I just need to see what's going on. So minimum 62.5. Right, that has sunk. Maximum 128 though. So 120 amps at 62 volts minimum. I'd have to work this out, but don't sound horrendous. That'll be
3. That's probably 3 point. Oh, I don't know what it is. I can't work it out. 3. If it was 3.3, then it's going to be 66 volts, isn't it? So it's above 3 volts a cell anyway. And you know, these things have probably still got to kind of bed in a bit. So yeah, we're at 80.8 volts still. I've taken out 2.4 amp hours. Yeah, I don't know. This is just madness. All right, red light. I was going to say I don't care about that and go over there, but there's a chain there. Right, I'm going to go back the other way. I think I'm going to end up going off into the middle of the countryside if I go the other way. Oh, it's nice having this capacity, you know. That's the thing. God, I'm rolling this throttle and it's just literally just. Oh, it just wants to go. Just wants to go. Got a car behind me. All right, 2 kilowatts, 76 volts. Whoa, it's flipping flying, this thing, honestly. Ah! I daren't look down, this is the problem. I daren't look down. I'm pedalling, I am pedalling, you know. No cars now. It pulls like a flipping train. I'm going to end up in a bush. So we've done 3 odd amp hour so far. Let's get them lights on so people can see me. This is the biggest problem you've got with these big batteries, is that you just haven't got any way of discharging them other than in the bike. I mean, this bike can deliver, I mean this battery can deliver, I mean, it's just ridiculous what it can deliver. It's like more power than is required for my house, that amount of kilowatts. I mean, I rarely see my house loads go over 10 kilowatts. So if you think about that, you know, with all of the washing machines and tumble dryers on and kettles and all that stuff, you know, this battery could deliver that amount of power. So I think I've got quite a big regen current on here at the moment, because it definitely is rising that voltage right up. Yeah, anyway, this is quite interesting because, oh, there's a cyclist up there. This is quite interesting because range anxiety has basically gone, because you know you've got, you know, 20 amp hours or whatever to play with. This is how fast real cyclists are going. Oh my god, it is so funny. I've just forgotten, as I said this in another video, I've just completely forgotten what, you know, real cycling is about, because I just don't do it. Just don't do it anymore. Yeah, there's nothing more satisfying than building a battery and then running it and kind of knowing that you've basically done all that and you're testing it out and it appears to be working. I need to make sure it's not burnt itself to pieces when I take the side of the bike off, but it's just fascinating. I love it, absolutely love it. And as somebody said, where's this going to end up? Are you going to make a battery for the Twizy? Do you know what? I mean, I did enjoy making this battery. I mean, actually, you know, it's not finished yet. I haven't completely finished the job, but I've still got to do the BMS, but that's relatively easy. But, I mean, yeah, I probably will do something. I don't really fancy soldering, you know, soldering or welding that amount of 18650 cells, to be honest, because, yeah, it's pretty intense. And you know, having that in a car with all the vibrations, you've really got to know what you're doing. I think it would require a lot more engineering than you know, this pack, which is basically secured by hot glue and what, I mean, fiberglass weave tape. Oh, crazy. It's all good at the moment, he says. I better start pedalling, really. I tell you what, it's bloody difficult trying to pedal with motorcycle gear on. Right, so we're heading towards Stansted. Oh, I can see some little kid in a Toyota Starlet Turbo or something. £5 amp, so about a fifth of my battery capacity. This is just, I remember this from before when I had my 30Q pack from Insat. It was like going from, you know, I had like 10 or 15 amp hours of lipos, and then I went to like 10p of 30Qs, and it was like, I just can't use that amount of capacity. I just physically can't burn that off. You know, I don't go that far, but I mean, you know, this is the same sort of situation, and I've now got 25 amp hours. This was going to be a 6p pack, wasn't it? But I made the decision because I wanted to make it easy and make the pack smaller, a bit lighter, all that sort of stuff. Under regen it's going up to 78. It's just mad, this thing really is. Yeah, so I made the decision to make them smaller, XYZ, and I don't think I regret it. But the thing about 18 650s and 26 650 cells, you know, when you've got lots of them in parallel, is obviously it just gives you so much power available. It's not just the capacity, it just gives you the power, but at the same time, you know, even so, they're still not as powerful as lipos. Lipos will always win in terms of power, power density. You know, they might not have the capacity, or, you know, the weight wise, these Lisa Carla cells are actually heading towards something quite interesting, but you know, as far as power and energy density to weight and all that sort of stuff goes, but lipos will always give you a higher voltage under load, because the internal resistance is a lot lower, and they're just nuts. Lipos are just insane, which is why they use them for kind of all sorts of racing and stuff like that. But, you know, if you want longevity and everything else, lithium ion is the way to go. And, you know, it's changing, it's definitely changing and getting better as time goes on. Yeah, so anyway guys, I'm going to wind this up because I'm just going to ride back home. I've got nothing else more to say on the matter. I need to do the BMS, and that will probably be the next video and everything else. So yeah, I'm going to call it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next video. Do all the normal stuff, subscribe, like, and I will see you next time. Anyone interested, just done 5.6 amp hours on that whole journey. I'm a little way away from home, but that's fine. Catch you later guys.